Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Njenje Media TV. My name is Mazi. As okay, this evening, as the topic suggests, we will be looking at INEC and its preparedness for the 2023 elections. Now, to have this conversation with me, I have a special guest in the studio today, in the name of someone that you all know. Some of you may call him a very controversial figure, but some will say he is nothing but a man who speaks his mind. This evening, I have the privilege of having Comrade Kennedy Iyere. Comrade Iyere is a social entrepreneur and he is the convener Power Shift movement. In so many ways, he has spoken up against misgovernance and is one man who has championed the concept of presidency, the Southeast extraction. Though we have some technical glitches, he is going to join me shortly because he's here, but something pushed him out. The technology pushed him out, and he's struggling to come back here. Now we have him here with us. Comrade Iyere, welcome to Njenje Media TV, and you're now live with Mazes. Good evening, Comrade. Comrade, you're muted. You're muted. Kindly unmute yourself. Go ahead now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Uh, I think I'm now not muted. Am I still muted?
Yes. Yes, you are now
Can you hear me?
unmuted. You can go ahead now. Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening from Lagos.
Okay, so, Comrade, now the first question that I have for you is, in your view, do you think that INEC is very prepared for the 2023 election after we have spent humongous amount of money and new technology introduced? What's your view and what's your take?
Thank you very much. You know what I will do? I'm going to take this as a very a very brief and quick one. Today, you will just interview me briefly on this. Then on the third, when we return from Christmas break, we go into full action. We want people to be able to eat during Christmas. So we're going to reserve some certain things. But let me respond to your question. INEC is not prepared to deliver a credible 2023 general election. INEC is not prepared. INEC is not ready. This question is actually not necessary because we all know the answer. INEC has started rigging elections already. The inability of INEC to allow people pick up or take possession of their PVCs is one cruel way, one cruel but smart and subtle way they want to have a lot of people disenfranchised. And if you come to look at it critically, they are focused on perpetrating such demonic acts around the southern region where they know that most of the votes from that part of the country will count for a particular candidate, most especially. I just would withhold the name. But to put it straight, INEC is not ready. And whatever assurances and reassurances they are giving, they are all fake. And all those things are done in falsehood. In a nutshell, I am saying categorically and audaciously that INEC is not ready to deliver a transparent, fair, and credible 2023 general elections. If you want me to take it further, as I speak with you, the voter register to be used next year is a fraudulent one. when the voter register is fraudulent with all the anomalies, with all of the underage voters being grafted into that register, do you need a soothsayer to tell you that they are up to something? But mind you, we are going to uncover all of their, sinister plots and make sure that the people take charge of the electoral process. They are not ready. If you look at the collection of the PVCs, the way Amanan they try to create setbacks around people from across the southern region, it's not the same way they are doing in the north. It's not the same way they are handling that which pertains to the people in the north. So they are not ready. The signs are there. They cannot deceive us. But when the time comes before the election, we will make them understand that we shall rise in peace to resist whatever, not what I said, in peace, not in war. We shall use all peaceful and lawful means possible to compel INEC to do the right thing. 2023 election cannot be like 2019. No way. It cannot be like the election they did in Anambra and Ekiti. No way. It must be fair. It must be credible and peaceful. Thank you. They are not ready.
So, okay. So, I mean, you've made it very clear that INEC is not ready for the 2023 election. In your submission, you, however, noted the disparity in terms of voter cancellation between the North and South. Now, there is, especially within the Southeast and the South-South, there is more cancellation between this region. There is this school of thought that believe or that argue, actually, that's where myself also believe in, that when INEC says that people who registered before or who came back to re-register, they classified that as double registration and they canceled the new one. Many have argued, is it not possible that INEC cancels cancels the old one if they find that you've registered to, because there might be reason why people go back again if they cannot find their old ID card or voter card, they may go back again to re-register. And in doing that, means if you cancel the new one they've registered, you've disenfranchised them. So some schools are arguing, rather than INEC canceling the newer registration, why don't INEC cancel the old registration? Two, that is question number one. Now, the second question is when you talked about underage voter, but INEC has started and kick-started a voter cleansing exercise. What do you think that exercise would do? Do you have faith that that exercise would actually help in cleaning those underage voters?
Okay, I respond to you first. Two questions here. The people, look, let me ask you this question, my brother. If you had an agreement signed with your landlord and you had the original copy of that agreement, if you need your tenancy agreement for something important and you couldn't find the first one that you were given by your landlord, nothing stops you from going back to him and asking him for a fresh copy, stating the fact that you came because the first one you were given has been misplaced, which means you cannot use two tenancy agreements for one same purpose. I just commonsensically gave that illustration to let you know that INEC cannot be trusted. The people who came to register, the one they call double registration, if they actually had the first one that they did, needless coming to register again. Mazi noted that register for the second time is very Herculean. It's very Herculean. Most of those people and they repeated that one for many days because INEC intentionally, deliberately made it very difficult for people.
I think, Comrade, I think we are having some network challenges there. Let's hope that your
To,
network would somewhat improve. We have a network challenge from your end. So, people, that's a conversation with Comrade Kennedy. Iyere. We are. Oh, okay. So,
go
he's
out.
back. Okay.
I just was saying that if you consider the rigorous processes these people had to go through to get registered,
Hmm.
if they had a first one that was valid, they wouldn't have come. The
Right.
truth of the matter is that, without missing words, Peter Obi kindled and rekindled a new passion in many people who, despite the fact that they had registered in the past, didn't really see the need to take serious the need to actually, place a premium, a high premium on their PVCs. When those who will come for their votes have been people of criminal character. So they just saw those PVCs at something that was not useful to them, so they misplaced them. When someone responsible came out, when someone who they could trust came out, when someone in whom they believe their own future will be secured came out, that person is Peter Obi. A revolution got started. For the very first time, we saw a lot of young people having to queue up from morning till evening. Fruitlessly, in a whole week, they will not be able to get registered. They started coming and coming and coming and coming until they got it through. For INEC not to even encourage them. See, if INEC was real, if INEC was original, if INEC was sincere, considering the processes that is so rigorous that these people had to pass through to get those PVCs, they would have encouraged them by ensuring that they cancel the old ones. Because these people didn't actually know where their old ones were, because there was no need to prioritize such PVCs when all who will come out to seek your vote are people that have plundered your treasury. Peter's appearance at the scene created and ignited this passion that made them see the need for them to actually participate in the election. So they came for the second time because they really wanted to make it work for them. So INEC in this sincerity, knowing well that if they allow these people, the will of the people will not be submitted, because when the people come out to cast their ballots, it will be so clear that the person they all have come out to vote for is certainly going to win. So in order for them to disenfranchise those people, they classify it as double registration. You get what I'm trying to say? Knowing fully well that if they actually had the first cards, they wouldn't have punished themselves, because the rigorous process of getting a PVC, of getting registered for a PVC during the continual voter registration is unprecedented. These boys, these girls, these young people suffered. And then, having gone all of those rigorous processes, only for INEC to say that they had double information. Why didn't INEC invalidate the?
Think the network again, it's one of those things. At the ground zero, the network is always an issue. But I believe the comrade is going to come back once more. His network is frozen. Bear with us. Um, before the network froze, the comrade is actually trying to elucidate on the reason why he believes that it was wrong and it is wrong that INEC would cancel new registration in view, or rather than canceling the old registration, if there is anywhere double registration occurs. So the comrade has joined us now,
Believe.
so let's bring him in.
Sorry for the break in transmission.
Your network is appears to be slight giving you a slight problem. Appears to be a little bit problematic. Can you hear me? Okay, go on, comrade. It appears you're back now. Go on. You can go ahead,
They try
comrade.
to, those people, they're going to fight for them. The civil society will fight for them. There is an initiative I'm going to launch next week. It's all about ballot security. And every other day we are going to be blocking the gates of INEC. If you have the old one and validate the new one, Mazi, we know where the truth lies now. You have the two records. Cancel the old one, validate the new one. I mean, technologically, it's very possible. It's like me sending an email to you 5 times, Mazi. Right? If I wrote the first one and maybe I didn't end it well, I send it again. When you read through, you should know the one that is the accurate one, the recent one. You delete the other ones. They want to sabotage this process that will produce Peter Obi, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work. So those people from the south, and the southeast, who they allege have double registration, we can make a very simple case. Okay, fine. Since the records are true, remove the old one, uphold the new one, so these people can vote. That is the truth. Then the second one
So
about
that,
the voter
yes, go ahead.
Have you seen a leopard before?
In
A
the zoo,
leopard is
yes.
a leopard. You see the color of the skin of that leopard remains constant and permanent. INEC is a leopard whose skin cannot be changed. They are not doing anything about the voter register. Are you talking about the voter register where you have people who are not Nigerians there? And they told us they are still working on it. How many days to election? They should wait for some actions that will be civil. That is why we have civil society organizations. Unfortunately, our civil society organizations are drinking tea and bread. They don't know the role they should play. They are all pocketed by INEC. They want to observe election. The grants that are coming from the international community, from some of these bilateral donor agency that goes to INEC, those grants, these civil society organizations are looking at those grants, because if you dare resist INEC, your name will be deleted from the list of the beneficiaries. But let me tell you what they don't know. The people who want Peter Obi, they are not looking for any money from anybody. If we want our freedom, we should buy it. You know what we will do? We will mobilize. From January 1st week, we are going to mobilize. Enough is enough. We shall speak to the EU, speak to the UK, speak to the US. These are the people who give the money with which all of these so-called kangaroo monitoring of election, is sponsored. These processes that yield no result. For 23 years, they have been spending money, financing illegality, financing fraudulent exercise of election observation, where civil society and international observers will watch people ring election, will watch people ring the two offices. They will say nothing. At times, I will even have reasons to confront them. And all they will tell you is that Nigeria is a sovereign state and they don't have the right to intervene or interfere into how elections should be conducted in a sovereign state. If you don't have the right to query an illegal act that produces illegal political office holders, then why are you an observer? All these are ways they try to make our electoral process remain a fraud, and it has been fraudulent. But for the first time, I am telling you, in 2023, it's going to be different. Our foot soldiers shall be mobilized in a peaceful way to ensure that the sanctity of the ballot is upheld. I stopped there first. I have responded to you that the old records, they should invalidate the new election.
Okay, now,
I said the 50,000
Comrade.
twice. If you are a sincere person, you refund one to me. Cancel one, leave one. INEC know what they are doing. They have shown no result for the money. The needful by undertaking sustainable activism. Thank you.
Comrade, thank you very much for those answers. My next question will be, obviously, we're aware that new technologies have been brought in for the 2023 election. And these technologies were tested in Anambra, in Osun, and in Ekiti. And this technology will be used for the 2023 election as well. Now, do you, irrespective of your reservations against INEC, do you think that this technology is going to, in any form, bring in succor for the voting populace? What's your take, sir?
I will tell you without missing word, Manzi. I was in Anambra 1 year before the election was held. I was in Ekiti. I was in Osun. For the sake of time, pick one. Anambra. I'll tell you something now. I'm sure you know.
I hope you're not picking Anambra because
that is why if you know, you understand. Now, I'll tell you what happened. Before that, I told you this very interview is a Christmas gift so that these people can eat rice well and sleep well. But by the time we return on the 3rd, everywhere will change you. On the 3rd, you are going to interview me again. So what we are doing now is playing a major match that involves Argentina. Messi is not in the squad. And the other one that involves Portugal, Ronaldo, is not in the squad. You saw what happened when they benched Ronaldo. They thought Ronaldo was no longer in vogue. What did they see? A loss. So leave that. I'm telling you, I am playing with my second team. On the 3rd, we shall play with the first team. Anambra. 290,000 people voted. The election that produced Soludo, 290,000 people determined the outcome of that election. 9%.
But that we knew where that came from. That was as a result of the insecurity in the state.
No. Njenje Media CEO On that day, you were in London. I was in Anambra, moving around everywhere. Let me tell you, not insecurity. Beaver's failure was the reason 9% determined the outcome. People came out regardless of the insecurity. Beavers failed. Come now, why did INEC? That day was peaceful. There was no record of any one person killed. The insecurity that they actually sponsored was to scare people from participating in that election.
But it worked. In your view,
Yeah,
into
look, I ran the biggest situation room for that election, and I could tell you categorically that the beavers did not perform, did not work. INEC took responsibility for that failure. First was Okoye on that day. Let me tell you what happened. TVC News, Ayo, the presenter of Journalist Hangout, actually interviewed me, right? The morning of that election. They took out some time to interview me. I will send the link to you. I told them I didn't trust INEC. I told them that election was going to be technically rigged and manipulated by INEC because we didn't see any sign that they were there at all. Some people were unable to accredit themselves. Look, beavers could not capture them. In some places, they complain of no network. Don't forget that beavers is a piece of technology that uses network to function. And one thing you must know about the beavers, those who are tempted to be captured will not reflect. It is only those who are captured that it will reflect. It's like your computer. It's the information you store in that it will be provided when you need them. Beavers failed woefully in Anambra. INEC took responsibility for the failure of beavers. What did they do? They added 2 more days. Those 2 more days, do you think people will come out? After they waited and wasted their precious hours the day before or 2 days before. Don't forget, Anambra people are traders. Beavers has not done well. It didn't do well in Anambra. It didn't do well in Ekiti. The reason it did well partially in Osun was because of the efforts people, some other concerned persons made. Manzi, beavers is a piece of technology that could be technically manipulated. If you trust, don't ever put your trust in those people. They manipulate beavers. I know so because I know as much as they know. What you should ask me is, how do we intend to counter the plots of some corrupt officials of INEC to manipulate the beavers as a medium of technical vote rigging? That's what you should ask me. We know we can't trust them to do something good enough. So we will have our own alternative plan of countering whatever sinister plan they have. Beavers is not 100%. It's not even, beavers is not 80% guarantee to assure us that the outcome of the election will be credible, because I have seen where they manipulate or manipulated before now the beavers. Let me tell you something. Don't forget that part of the sensitive material they will talk to you about is also one of them. And whatever they use to do the accreditation, capturing and write all of those reports, INEC cannot be trusted. They have failed in Enugu, in Anambra, they failed in Osun. They did fairly well in Ekiti because the pressure on them not to fail was high, because we had threatened that any attempt to do anything funny in Oshun, we're going to hashtag Mahmoud must go. And we met business. So, Mazi, if you think you
Now,
can sit back
now,
and
now, now, comrade.
trust INEC to deliver a
Now, comrade.
credible, yes.
You obviously you are of the opinion that INEC is not prepared. You've
They are not
also
prepared at
shown,
all.
yes, you've also shown that you've also argued that INEC is not fair to the southeast and the south south. Now you have also alluded to the you have alluded that Beavers is also not foolproof. In all these that you've outlined and discussed here, what then is, in view of all these abnormalities, what then is the solution to seeing that the issue of trust is dealt with, and the issue of holding INEC to account and ensuring that the votes count come 2023? What then is the solution? And let that be our conclusion this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. I told you that this very interview is like my Christmas gift. I came up here because I wanted to give them a Christmas gift, so that while they eat the rice, um, and then they also eat the meat meant for Christmas and the new year, meaning the first day of next year, thanking God for all that God has done for us, sparing our lives. They should also be thinking of what lies ahead. What lies ahead is that the destiny of Nigeria will be decided. I am sure it will be decided at 31 plus 25. How many? 31 plus 25. That will be 46 days from that day they are eating the New Year rice. I pray that God touches their conscience so that they come back to work and start thinking the right way. See what will happen. For the peace of this country, let the winner of that election wins the right way and in a credible way, so that the winner knows I actually have won. And let the
Yeah, but
loser, I'm coming.
that's a contradiction. But that's a
Yeah,
contradiction. You cannot be making demand for the winner to win the right way, whereas you've already ab initio said that the system that is in place
Mazi, there's
is,
something. I'm not finished.
is not
Mazi, I'm
okay.
not finished. I'm leading you somewhere. You know, you are in London. I am speaking with you from Lagos. So the way you people make your presentation in the UK and the way we make it here, they are not the same. I'm coming. If they realize, if only these people could come to terms with the fact that for the peace of this country, that election must be credible. If only they knew that, they should be able to come back and right their wrongs. How would they right their wrongs? We will make that demand. By the time we return, by the grace of God in January, we are going to ask INEC to ensure that those people they disenfranchised, alleging that they had dual registration, double registration, they know that both records are with them. They should eliminate the old one, then validate the new one, because those people must vote and we know who they want to vote for. We are going to take that matter up. Right? Having said that, if they say they don't want to do that to make it easy for them, okay, create a special package for the same people to be re-registered. So they choose between eliminating the old records and upholding the new one, or they give them a platform all over again without stress to get registered because they are Nigerians. It is their
But
constitutional right
but
to vote.
but but that that is no longer tenable, because legally 90 days to the election, that exercise can no longer hold. And it's
Can
beyond
I ask
90
you a
days now.
question? wait, eliminating the old records to uphold the new record, is that not tenable?
Well, that's the question. If the question that I'm pushing back to you,
Now,
if
no, hold on, hold
because
on,
no, no,
hold
hold
on.
on,
There's something I'm
no, no, no,
saying,
sorry,
Mazi.
sorry, sorry, comrade, you are the person from the civil society. The question then to you and your colleagues within the civil society is, if INEC does not do that, what is the option and what is the alternative and what are
The
the
question I
actions?
will ask, the question I will ask you: should INEC not be accountable to the general public? Is the
It's
chairman
not
of
that
is the
INEC
I'm
is not
coming,
accountable.
is the chairman of INEC not a public servant, supposedly the servant? It's a demand we are going to make. And let me tell you this: don't don't get me wrong. In a very lawful way, in a very lawful and peaceful way, we can resist these people. There is what we call civil disobedience in activism. Now, we will compel and mandate them. Not see, do you know the amount of people? Do you know the quantum of that vote, that figure? That figure can decide the winner of that election. You're removing that from one region. Do you know what that means? The truth of the
Comrade,
matter is that
comrade, the reason why I pushed that question to you
they
is because
cannot. I'm coming,
I
Mazi,
needed clarity on that. But
Mazi.
no, hold on. Maybe this point will guide you.
Hmm.
Now, that is a school of thought. However, in the INEC books, before the registration started, there were guidelines, and the guidelines said if you registered before and you register again, we will remove the new one and keep the old one. Again, when we bring logic, just opposing it to this guideline, it is anti logic. The question is there anything the civil society can do to bring logic to it as opposed to the guideline that was already in place before this exercise took place?
Okay, that's fine. In law, there are cases that have never existed before. For example, when in Kogi State some years back, someone who won the Goba poll died the same day he won. It became a new case. For the sake of peace, they have to interpret the law in such a way that peace will be restored. What I'm saying to you is this: men make laws, men can also eliminate some laws. That is why you have amendments. Recently, the CBN, they came up with a policy that would really, affect a lot of people, especially the POS operator. If that law they made was to take effect, statistically, not less than 1.4 million POS operators will be out of jobs. What happened? Nigerians, that number is too high to be to be to be to be. I mean, of a number to not.
Comrade, I think on this particular point, if you permit me, I think we may have to seek further clearance, maybe from the legal minds on this, with all due respect, because this is a very clear case of, in my view, humbly submit that this is a a clear case of the network network again. For me, people, this is a a clear case of legality, because there is an INEC guideline that stipulates that when you register and you register again. Okay, the a comrade has come back again. Comrade, can you quickly round up on? I think, you know like I said before, he may interject whenever his network is restored, but I deeply struggle to see where mere assertion comes in here as opposed to something that should be legally tested in court, maybe. Comrade, you're back
Yeah,
again.
yeah. What I'm saying,
Okay.
men make laws and rules, and men are also able to sit down and revise and review what they have made before, right? That is why when you write a book, you revise. What I'm saying, recently, when the CBN came up with a policy that would not favor the people, what happened? Nigerians stood against the policy and it was debated. There are ways. The people at the National Assembly, we send them there. Don't forget they are coming to collect our vote. We have a way around it. We are going to open this book by January 1st week.
Yeah, but then we're by January we are looking at when you have less than 56 days. By January 1st, we have that should be making it about 55 days to the election or 54 days to the election.
Mhm.
So, and
How
again,
many days? How many? Don't forget the people are not registering. The records
no,
are
no, no, no,
already
no.
there.
You see, I am a very practical person that even if when you go to court to get judgment, the question is just like I'll give you an example. P2B Support Network went to court against INEC, secured a judgment declaring that INEC stopping the registration was illegal. They shouldn't have stopped the continuous voter registration until 90 days to. Now, here is the caveat. P2B Support Network secured that judgment 4 days to the expiration of 90, or before 90 days kicks in. The question is, what can INEC do within 4 days? If you fight for the enforcement of that, INEC could actually register one person, and that is continuous, and tell you that is the only person they're able to register. Or do you use that as a landmark case for future reference? That means by the year 2027 or the off-season elections that will happen, INEC probably will not, by the fact that that judgment was secured, may no longer go back and do the same thing that they've done. Now, if we have 55 days to the election, by your argument, by 1st of January, then it will be very difficult for me to, in as much as I do not agree with INEC on this because I think it's anti-logic. But legally, the guidelines were out there. It was not challenged, which didn't make sense. And eventually, the guideline now is against the Southeast and South-South. The question again, especially you guys from the civil society, is there anything that could be done? I know you said you can, there could be civil disobedience, civil actions, but hey, let's come back to the realm of reality here. I mean, that's in as much as all fine and good, I want to return to the realm of reality. If your network permits, then we can conclude on that thought. But if not, I would be willing to take you on further on this on the 3rd of January. People, it has been my pleasure to have the comrade here. And here we've been talking about how prepared INEC is for the 2023 presidential election. Well, rather, not only presidential, 2023 election. I've been speaking to Comrade Kennedy Iyere, who is a social entrepreneur, convener, power shift movement. Comrade, it's been my pleasure. Okay, now you're back. It's my
Mm.
pleasure to have you back again. And we are now concluding. Comrade, in one
Manzi,
minute,
let me
please,
just say
just
something
let me
to
have
you.
your concluding thought. Yes, go ahead.
Let me say something to you. You know why is the truth. Nigeria has a very civil society. All those civil society who claim to be working for political transparency in terms of elections, all those NGOs, so you see.
Um, Sadly, comrade, your network indeed is not playing along with you today. And sadly, that is the much we can take. I am still Mazes, okay? Please, we do applaud you, or we do, we do ask you to subscribe to this platform, like and share the stream. See you next time. Bye for now.